A new German route was announced on the October 19th roadmap. The route in question is Tharandter Rampe. I am here with my special guest Matei. He is a member from the TSW Discord server and he'll be talking with us about what this upcoming route has to offer. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hello, I'm Matei. I don't really know what else to say. I'm 16 and I like trains.
Alright, with introductions out of the way, let's get right into the video. Tharandter Rampe is a passenger line traveling between Dresden-Habenhof and Chemnitz-Habenhof. The route has a total of 20 stops and a total route length of 80 kilometers or 50 miles. The top speed of the line is 120 kilometers an hour or 75 miles an hour. Trains will travel through mountainous terrain, challenging gradients, windy turns, various viaducts, and numerous small towns and cities. The rolling stock coming with the route is the DBBR 612 and the DBBR 143 with doppelstocks. The 143 will be serving the Dresden S3 line going between Dresden and Freiburg. This section of the line has a total of 12 stations and is approximately 40 kilometers or 25 miles. They will also be serving as Regiobahn trains along the entirety of the route, calling at all stops. The 612 will be serving as regional trains, making limited stops along the entirety of the route. So let's go into a little more detail about what this route has to offer. So, for starters, how much of this route is on the original portion of Riesa to Dresden?
Almost nothing, just Dresden Hauptbahnhof and the depot.
So it's basically just a similar situation as Brighton Main Line.
Yeah.
So how does this route differ from Riesa to Dresden?
Well, it's more like the Ruhrsieg ignored route. It's slower, it undulates, and it deals with more mountainous terrain. It also doesn't see as many trains.
Okay, so it's gonna have feelings like Ruhrsieg Nord and Main Spessarbahn. Okay, that sounds really cool. Now, what could be layered onto this route from other German DLCs? Because obviously most German routes have some sort of form of layering. So what would make the most sense to layer onto this route, if there's any?
Likely only freight trains. I think all the passenger ones are covered by the 143 and 612, but there are no uniquely freight trains here. We could also see maybe a switcher, either a 204 or a 363 layered in Freiburg.
Okay, that would definitely be cool to have some diversity. I really enjoyed the 363, so I think having it on this route would be fun. Now, can the 612 be layered onto other German routes? Obviously, the 143 is on various other routes, so we don't need to talk about that. But can the 612 be layered onto other German routes?
I would hope that we could layer it onto the Main Spessartbahn for the two diesel stops, kind of like a miniature diesel Strecke in game.
So it goes along like the line that goes to the ports?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, you did answer my question in a previous question, which is, does freight run this route?
Absolutely. There's an avoiding line between Dresden, Plauen, and Tauern that freight trains in the RE3 use. It only really avoids for a few kilometers or so. The only real station you can't see it from is Freital Heinsberg, but it's definitely there, and it's there for freight and regional express services.
Okay, so yeah, I think freight will definitely be an interesting part of this route, especially with like all the challenging gradients that are on this route. So I think freight's gonna be really fun to do on this route. Okay, so let's talk about the rolling stock real quick. So obviously we've had the 143 before in TSW. Is there anything else we'd like to know about it, or like possible changes that Dovetail Games could do to the 143?
No. And I want to kind of take a moment here to interject that with this route they're adding the line S3 of the Dresden S-Bahn, and I think that now more than ever it's a good time to add back the S2 branch. But back to what I was saying, there's nothing you should be really knowing about the 143, as all the changes would have come in Riesa to Dresden. As for the 612, it will be the first German DMU as well as the first tilting train for the game. It has a maximum speed of 160 kilometers per hour or 99 miles per hour, and is equipped with a safety system we've never seen before called GNT, and is exclusively for tilting trains. From what I could find, GNT is deployed entirely throughout the route except for the line that doesn't avoid, because the RE3 uses the avoiding line instead.
Okay, so this was something that really caught my eye when I was researching this route. And having tilting trains in TSW is major. It opens up a lot of possibilities for future routes and loco DLC, such as the Acela on NEC or the ICET on Riesa to Dresden, or it could see a new face such as the Class 390. This is a really this is definitely a really exciting route to see that we're going to be finally getting tilting trains coming to the game. Now, could you explain like what G&T is?
It is a system that'll allow tilting trains to achieve a roughly 30% speed increase on curves, and it runs with PCB. As such, the maximum speed you can use it for is 160 kilometers per hour.
So if the speed limit is currently 120 kilometers an hour, the train will able to go 160.
I think so, but don't quote me on that.
Okay. But this is really interesting, and I'm really excited to see how the gameplay differs in a tilting train compared to a traditional German train. So I'm really excited for this. Now, we did briefly talk about like the service patterns and stuff on this route, but can you give us any more info on what the service patterns are going to be like on this route?
You have the S3, which goes all stops from Dresden Hauptbahnhof to Tauant, with some services extended to Freiburg, Sachsen. The RB30, which will make all stops from Dresden to Chemnitz, and the RE3, which will make only 5 stops. Dresden Hauptbahnhof, Tauant, Freiburg, Sachsen, Flöha, and Chemnitz.
Okay, so I definitely love when a route has a good diversity in services, like different stopping patterns. So that's something I really enjoy out of a route, and it really gives like more enjoyability out of a route. So it's really nice to see that we have some diversity going on here. So I think this is going to be a really fun route. Now, how many services could we expect on this route? You did mention that it was less than Riesa to Dresden, but could you give us like an estimated number on how many services we could expect to see?
I would say 200, maybe 250. We have only the S3, the RB30, and the RE3, but we do also have some freight and maybe switching. So 250 to be safe.
Okay, so not too short of Riesa to Dresden, but there's still going to be a good amount.
Like roughly half.
Oh, okay, yeah. But yeah, but still 200 to 250 is still pretty good for a German route. Now, what else currently runs on this route that would make the most sense to add as a loco DLC?
Well, to be accurate, the switcher at Freiburg is actually a DBVR 294, so we could see that. And we could also see a DBVR 140 for freight. As I already said, I think we have passenger trains covered.
Okay, so I'd love to see some new freight locos come to TSW, since the only major freight loco we have at least in TSW is the 185. So it would definitely be nice to see some new freight locos come to the game. Now, while we were both researching this route, we found out that there's the possibility for Steam on this route. Would you like to go into more detail on what Steam is about Steam on this route?
Well, there is a massive Steam event every year in Dresden, where Steam trains do use the Tharandter Rampe. And I think the DBBR 50 has a presence there every year.
So when it's going up the ramp, is it being pushed by like an electric train or a diesel train?
Probably a diesel train or another steam train.
So do you know what loco is usually used to push steam trains up the ramp?
I do not.
Okay, that's fine. One more question, which is, do you know like what the steepest gradients are on Tharandter Rampe?
Again, I do not. Sorry.
Okay, no worries. So now, how many steam trains usually run during this special event? Would it require a separate timetable, or could it be fitted into...
No, it would most likely be fitted.
Okay, so it would be fitted. Okay. So how many services would you think would be in a pack like this?
Like, I would say maybe 10 or so.
Okay.
I don't think there are that many.
Okay, so not too much, but I'm sure it would make a lot of Steam fans happy. So yeah, I think that is really everything we need to know about this route. Although it may not be the most unique German route out there, the route definitely does have a lot of special qualities to it that I think will really make it stand out. So things such as like the 612 being the first ever German DMU and the first ever tilting train in TSW for the game, I think is a really major thing.
And I also forgot to mention the older Doppelstock wagon.
Oh, right. And then there's also the possibility for Steam. So yeah, I mean, because Dovetail didn't go like into specifics on what Doppelstocks are being added to the route, it would make sense if they just went with the older Doppelstocks and then just layered the Dresden Doppelstocks onto the route, and then you'd have some diversity in rolling stock. So who knows? We'll see. We'll see what happens. Now, I have watched POVs of this route, and it has some really incredible scenery. I really love like lots of the viaducts and stuff on it. And the route also has just a lot of diversity in terms of the services, which is something I always enjoy in almost any route. So yeah, I'm really excited for what this route will deliver once it comes to the game in the near future. Before we end the video, I would like to ask one more question, which is, what are you the most excited about for this route?
I would say the 612 and the S-Bahn line S3.
I definitely agree with you. I'm really excited to drive the 612 and see what it has to bring to the game, and I'm also really excited just for the scenery, but I think this is going to be a really good route. So I would just like to say thank you all for watching this video. If you have not already, check out my video talking about the new US freight routes coming to TSW. I go into detail on what these routes could possibly deliver once they come to the game. And it's a really good video, so I highly recommend you check it out. I'll put it at the top of the screen for anybody who's interested. So since we're in the time of Dovetail announcing their next set of routes they're going to be working on for the next year, I will be making videos talking about all these upcoming routes. So if you guys are interested in these kinds of videos, consider subscribing so you get notified of when these kinds of videos release. So before we say goodbye, would you like to say goodbye to my subscribers, Matei?
Goodbye to my subscribers, Matei.
Okay. I'd like to say thank you all for watching this video. This is Crazy Dash and Matei. Peace out.